Hello.
Hi, Philip.
Hi.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm relieved.
You're relieved. Congratulations on passing PMP exam.
Thank you.
Seems like you have just passed PMP exam.
Yes. Yeah, I took it today. I told you today was my day.
Oh, wow, wow. Congratulations. I'm so happy. How was your
Yeah.
experience?
Um, it was crazy. I have ADD and I don't take medication for it. So I was worried about the sit time.
Oh,
And so practicing going to the library to sit over time and over time. And the maximum that I was able to do at the library was 90 minutes. So going in today, I was nervous, but I made it.
wow. You're brave. Like, it's amazing. Like, if it was difficult for you to sit for 90 minutes, you sat for 4 hours.
I did. I did. But
Wow.
they had breaks at those at a really good time for me. So they give you like the breaks. And so, yeah.
All right. Thank you, Phyllis, for your time. Let's start with a brief introduction. Where are you from and where do you work?
I am from Houston, Texas, and I work for Shell in the uh PMP space. I mean in the PPM space, projects program management.
All right, great. I must admit that you were the smartest student in that batch. Yeah.
That's what you tell them all. But okay.
No, not at all. You might have heard my or watched other videos. So I tell, okay, you're hardworking, but I have never told anyone you're the smartest, but you were really because the participation, the engagement, the way you answered question, that was really impressive, and I was really impressed.
Right.
And that's why I was confident like you're going to pass the exam.
I
Great. So
did.
what was the exam preparation strategy? What did you do?
So I went over the notes that I had taken from your class, and then we had these when I was in college in science, the guy he lied to us. He would tell us something and he'd say, "You don't have to worry about it. That's not going to be on the exam." And that would be like the first question on the exam. So it was he used to say not to worry. So on all your notes on the things that I didn't understand, I put not to worry. So I knew to study those parts. And then I went through the practice questions that you provided. And what I did was the ones that I was not confident with the answer where I just guessed because I could get a guess right. I just guessed. I marked it as a guess, and then the ones that I clearly didn't know, that I clearly missed, I marked those, and I just picked certain areas that I said that I was going to study and focus on because I wasn't going to do the whole thing. And you did say don't memorize, but what is it? CPI and S
SPI.
kept kicking my butt. I kept twisting the two. And so I did make a memorization there on
Okay.
those. I did do that. And then basically it was like a lot of it was agile, which was
Yeah.
pretty cool because I think that lends to actually to my personality is more of a servant leader, period, and all the things that I do. So it lended to that. So that was pretty good. And I think I only had one CPI question. I was like, oh, thank you.
What was your percentage in my mock exam on average?
um, I stopped at was it 81
Oh,
because
really?
80 that you were okay,
Yeah.
so 81, and when I got 81 I let the whole thing go and just took those focus areas.
All right. And did you solve mock exams like weekly? Did you attend weekly Q&A sessions?
I did not, because I
Okay.
got sick and I had
Oh,
two family, and then I have a 16-month-old grandchild, so when I could I would play them. I wouldn't participate, but I'd play the audio piece of it,
means
you know.
you listen to the audio, but means you
Right.
attempted in a different way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Do you think those Q&A sessions are helpful for those who are preparing for exam?
Probably they were helpful for me in that even though I wasn't actively involved, some of the stuff, just because it's like almost like background noise, it penetrates. So yeah, yeah, it probably more so if you are actively engaged in it, but I think I got a benefit from the passively listening.
All right. How much time did you spend in the entire preparation process?
Oh wow, that's what was scary because it was a lot. So right now I'm only 50% on a project here. So I
Okay.
have 50 available time. And so my line supervisor said, okay, use that for your PMP prep. And so I was like, oh my God, if I don't pass, then that's gonna look bad that they made the time for me. So it was 15 to 20% of my working day, almost every day. So it was a lot of time. And then on the weekends, sometimes when I had a, like some down or whatever the case may be. But again, if I don't have anybody there, like your class, to engage me, it's hard for me to stay on that vein. But that's just me personally. So yeah.
So based on this, I mean, 10 hours a week or 10 to 15 hours a week?
2, 4, 6, 8. About 10. Yeah.
About 10
About
hours a week. And how
mhm.
many weeks?
From when did we finish? January 24th?
Yeah, last week of January.
And so I think because I missed the first one, I probably started a little bit before that
Yeah,
because first class I had to come back.
yeah.
So January 1st to today, about 10
All right.
hours a week.
Almost 8 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
8 to 10 weeks.
February, March. Yeah,
All
about that.
right. So 80 to 90 hours. So this is what I suggest. 70 to 90 hours, 80 to 90 hours. This is the ideal time. So you have done in an ideal time. That's great. Okay. What would you advise if somebody is going to prepare for the exam, what they should do?
So as quickly as possible, schedule the exam so that they can get the mock from you.
Right.
Requirement. So quickly as possible, schedule it. And then literally just keep doing the mock until you're comfortable with it. And as you're doing it, note the ones that you continue to miss or that continue to stump you, and then just take a deep dive on those.
All right. So simple strategy. Attend the course, read the book, schedule the exam, get the mock exam, and solve them.
Immediately schedule. And see, and that was one of the hangups that I had because I went to go pay for the exam so that I could get the mock right away. But Shell said no, that it was covered, and I had to go through that waiting process, figure out that process so that they could give me a voucher. And that process right there cost me a few weeks before I could get the mock exam from you.
Yeah, that's why I contacted you, I guess. I asked you,
Yeah,
what are you doing? What's up?
right. Because I was ready to pay for it, and my supervisor said, "No, no, 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 no. We have things in place that will cover that." And I'm like, "Yeah, but." So that was one of the things. That's why I would say schedule it as soon as possible, because I probably could have scheduled, maybe even scheduled my exam sooner or something like that, because I was waiting. I couldn't start the mock until I got that.
All right. Any don'ts, anything that you think we should not do during the preparation process?
Not confuse yourself with too much literature, because at work here there were people that were recommending this book and then that book and then this book and then that book, and and literally I had, before I started, I had ordered all sorts of books, and some of them don't even have the spine broken on them. So
Did
yeah,
you use my notes?
I used what I took from your notes.
Okay, during the class.
Yes.
All
And
right.
then calls that I sat in, somebody might have said something that resonated with me, and then I updated my notes or added a page. Do I still have that? Hang on. So I literally had a book just dedicated for show you, just dedicated. Nope, that's
Wow.
not. It's this one. Literally dedicated to the class. And then when I was taking the mock and things like that, I was taking notes on areas that I was missing and highlighting what it is. I don't know if you could see that, what I needed to concentrate on more.
It
So
it looks like a complete book.
it pretty much it
Please,
is a complete
yeah,
composition
you
book.
can write a book, just get it printed.
But I mean, but only because I know how I am, and I didn't want to clutter each page with too much information. I wanted to keep a page specific so that I knew exactly where to go to refer to, a certain section. So yeah.
All right,
So
great. And
this book and I, we were mates for a long time. We were inseparable.
great. And how important was the 4 days long course?
That was a foundation plus some.
Okay.
So it was very important. I don't know that I could have done it without that. I know that I could not have done it without that. And I
And
don't think that a longer would have helped me. And I don't think a shorter would have helped me. I think it was just perfect for me.
what did you like in that? And what are the things that you want me to improve?
I liked that you encouraged, sometimes you were a little harsh, but it was effective. I liked that you encourage participation, and particularly from those that weren't initially verbal, you would ask them, "Hey, Joe, what is
Yeah.
this? I want to take this." And so listening to their reasoning and how they got helped me, like, okay, well, I understand why that reason is wrong. Oh, okay, that gives me something to think about. I see how that works. So yeah, so that was so the you didn't just push the information, you required participation. Yeah, you made participation mandatory in the way that you presented. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Because if students are not participating, I cannot teach.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Anything that you would like to be improved in those courses?
Only because I'm past, I'd say no. If I didn't, then there might be some things that stood out. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So I would
Yeah.
say, well, if this is better, or if this had been, so no.
All right. One important question. You have gone through the entire process, like you have attended the training, read the book, and solved mock exam, passed the exam. How important is this course or the entire process for your professional skills development, knowledge, and learning?
So actually, like I said, the pressure, it became a requirement here.
Yeah.
So it's on my professional development plan, and it's a requirement that I had to fill within second quarter of this year.
So you're saying it just fulfills that requirement, or did it really add some value?
Both. It fulfills that requirement, and then also it adds. So I'm in a project management resource pool,
Yeah.
right? And so when assignments come up, people can see my profile and see that that's on there, and that gives me credibility for certain projects. So yes.
All right, great. How did you manage time during the exam?
During the exam,
Yeah.
it was so hard. um, I took advantage of the 10-minute breaks that they gave. And then also on the upper right, it tells you what question of 180 you're on and how much time you left. And a couple of times I was calculating, I was like, okay, so he said a minute and 45 seconds or something like that for each. Oh, I'm behind. I'm behind schedule. And so let me pick up some of these and not waste so much, because there were some questions that I didn't quite understand the wording. And so you do get the opportunity to flag it and come back to it later. So those that I spent more than 2 minutes on, I just gave them a flag and went to the next. And then at the end of that session, I guess, is when it tells you, that you're end of, I forgot how many questions are in a grouping. But when you get to the end of that, it brings up your review options. So you can see the ones that you flagged and go back and do them. So I did that. So the first time around, or the first grouping, I didn't flag that many. And then when it popped up, I said, oh, okay, well, I need to take advantage of that. And so I did. And the reason that I took advantage of that is because not every question is unique in the concept. So it'll come back at you reworded or something like that. And so I started flagging some questions because I said, I don't get it right now. And then when I would answer something later, it's like, oh, that's a lot like that one. So when I get back to the flag, I understood it better. So that's kind of like how I managed it.
All right. And you were able to manage the entire exam within the allocated time.
Barely, but yes, I had, even after the survey, I had 4 minutes and 47 seconds left after the survey. So,
All right. And did you write the exam at the exam center or at home?
at the exam center, I didn't want to take any chances with technology. And like I said, the distractions, I didn't want to have any of the distractions. And so I did go to the test center the day before so that I saw where it was and I saw the layout of it, because it's in my area. So I went and did that just so I kind of knew what to expect.
All right. So everything was smooth and there was no disruption. I heard that some students, they say when you take the exam at exam center, you see a lot of noise around because of people. Some are typing, some are doing different type of exams. So did you see any sort of disruption or problem from people in the room?
So what they offered earplugs or noise canceling headphones. They actually offered both. And I used the noise canceling headphones because and I didn't for a while. But the guy next to me, I would hear a lot of typing from him. And then the clock on the wall seemed so loud. So the tick, tick, tick. And so I used the noise canceling headphones.
All right. I think last question from my side. How relevant were the mock exams that you did that I provided to you? If you compare them with the real exam in terms of difficulty level, in terms of relevance, language, and scenarios.
I think yours were a little bit more difficult.
Okay.
Um, but that challenges your understanding of the concept. So that made it a little bit easier because I was surprised at the end when they said I passed, how I mentally made it more difficult in my mind than it needed to be because I didn't know that I was really as prepared as I was. So
Were you confident during the exam, like you're going to pass the exam, or especially when you hit the end button?
I didn't get confidence until the end because I think that's when I can't, when I started like rolling, like, okay, yeah, I know this one, know this one, know this one. But I didn't get confident until the last hour.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it was like the last 80 minutes is when I got confident.
And did you get the result on your screen or after you finished the exam and you got a piece of paper?
I got a piece of paper. So when you finish it on the screen, it says that you'll be notified within 48 hours. But then when you walk out of the room to the administrator, he has the paper ready.
And what happened then when you saw the paper?
Well, it was a font size 2. So I wasn't sure at first when I took it. I was like, oh man, oh man. Then I zoomed in and I was like, yeah.
All
So
right.
yeah,
Uh,
and that's when I said, you made it harder than it had to be. So
yeah.
yeah.
Congratulations, Phyllis. I think we have covered almost everything. This would
I
be really helpful to,
would procrastinate.
sorry?
I said I would recommend not to procrastinate. Just go
Okay.
ahead and do it. And yeah.
Absolutely. This is very important. And this is what I'm telling. This is for the first time in my teaching career. In first month, you are the 22nd student who passed exam.
Okay.
Prior to that, only two, three, two, three, two, three.
Mm-hmm.
From January onwards, I really pushed students, okay, go for it. Just do it.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
It's not a difficult exam. Everybody's, you know,
You actually kept saying that it wasn't difficult.
yeah. So that's why,
And
now students, they are, scheduling the exam and they're feeling confident, and especially these sessions when they would see, okay, Phyllis has passed, all of people in your batch, they would get motivated. Okay, now we have to do it, right? So
yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
thank you so much, Phyllis, for your time. And
And
once again, congratulations. Take good care of yourself. We will be in touch.
thank you. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.